Can you unmute?
How's that?
Christina.
Much better.
Let me double check that we're not echoing here. We're good. Welcome, everybody. Erica is on her first co-hosting assignment with me today. We told her we wouldn't throw too much at her once we get started with it. But you gotta know who you're sitting with first, and if you're online and there are like 20, 30 people, I'm like, oh, 12 so far, it's filled by 9:30, it's a lot
It will
more.
be 30.
Yes. So come on, find somebody you don't know. You got 30 seconds to say hello.
Mark, how's it going? I'm gonna talk to your people just as soon as I leave here.
You can hear me clap once. You can't hear me clap twice. Come on in, Start on time, they're on real time. Okay, so each week we look at either Denver. Don't make me forget three times.
They're fired up for Paulina.
Well, I've been doing it, so it kind of varies, but somewhere between
We just walked in.
350 to 5.
Nice.
So
Okay, so each week we talk about either our M, B, B, or P. This week it is our values, which are
God, family, and then business. How many of you in this room have ever struggled with your priorities? Anybody? So I'll tell you, when I was taking this whole journey of making this amazing decision to change my life, Dan challenged me so much with my own priorities in life. And he asked me one question: what do you want more of, money or time? And it was a very, very good question for me, because for me, my faith is so critical to who I am, but it was bottom of the list. It was the thing I checked off the list. So when I saw that this was one of our core values, it's your faith, it's your priorities. What are you going to prioritize first? And then your family, and then your business. And that changed the way I made this decision of how am I going to do this next journey in life? And it was like, man, not only do we work for a company that has core values, they actually practice what they preach. And I thought that was really cool. So I just wanted to remind everybody, God, family, then business, get your priorities straight and go rock the day. Sell another house.
if you try to do those in the wrong order, something's gonna get messed up somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
All right, and one of the cool things of our God Family Then Business is the culture and the family of people we have, including our affiliates and vendors. As you can see, it keeps growing, and we're already taking people for next year. But those of you that are in here, let's introduce yourself. Kevin, go ahead and start.
Ken Polar, Allstate Insurance, helping provide property casualty needs, got some great home rates, and would love to help out with the clients that you have. Thank you.
Is that all on this side? Go D.
Dee Wilson calling in for Garrett Dollins. He thinks he needs to go on vacation right now. So with Meridian Title, just wanted to point out, next Monday, we're having our eye care fundraiser. If anyone is interested, that's the wrong flyer, don't look at that one. I will leave flyers here. We're having some like ladies' night at the office. Men, you can come if you'd like to, but it's kind of jewelry and kind of girly things. So the other thing to put on your calendar is November the 7th. I know it seems like it should be way out there, but it's not. We are having our ribbon cutting at our Ozark location. And the only other thing I know that you and I have talked about before, we have a new person in line doing our 1031s. So we have regular 1031s, reverse 1031s, and construction 1031s. So anything like that, give us a shot.
Hi, I'm Christina Ferrante with 417 Home Loans. I'm your hashtag lending lady for life, as you guys know. I just wanted to say last week I won $1,000 by going to an event at the board. So if you guys are not going to stuff at the board, come on, loser, get in, let's go. Because I will love to take you. Also, I'm becoming an ambassador for the chamber. So if anybody wants to get involved in the community, let's get coffee.
Very cool.
all right, Derek Cheney, home loan expert with Mid-Missouri Bank, located right across the parking lot here, and here for all your home loan needs.
Anybody else? And who was the Vindy winner last week?
He's not here.
It was Bruce Brockman, yeah, and he's not here. He did say he wanted to give it to somebody else, but I don't believe he's here either.
Then we'll have to table it.
So there will be no Vindy for the week.
Wah, wah.
I was hoping it was Garrett.
Also, not that this matters with culture, but somebody said something about my jacket on the chat. This does glow in the dark, so after team meeting, if you'd like to go in the elevator closet with me, we can see what it looks like. Never mind, don't do that. Wait for next week's jacket, it's gonna be much better. Okay, so we've run into a thing. Shanna has won the Hall of Fame or the STEM Award so many times, we're retiring her.
That's amazing. Now you have to get a tattoo.
Yeah. So- Another interesting thing with that, there's a magazine called Training Magazine, and Keller Williams won the Trainer of the Year award so many times, they actually retired us from that. So we don't get it anymore because they're tired of giving it to us year after year.
Yeah.
So you have a culture winner for this week.
I do, can I come up?
You can.
Thanks, I was gonna come up anyways.
You didn't say green light, red light, wait, whatever that is.
All right. So, I don't see her, she's not here.
Oh,
Okay, anyways, the person I chose is fairly new to Keller Williams. I got to meet them about a year ago, and when they came over, they just embodied everything. That's Keller Williams culture. They're a joiner, right? They want to join everything. They're super positive, always cheery. They're a ray of sunshine all the time, and I think that this person is going to do some really, really big things. This week's winner is Lala Baker.
well, she's not here, so we need to text her and tell her congratulations. Her phone number is 417-598-3261. One more time, 417-598-3261. I love it when they're sitting like in a closing and their phone goes exploding. It's kind of fun.
She's gonna think it's all the leads.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, onward. Do we have Megan or, yeah, Megan's here.
Hi, I'm Megan with Onward. We currently offer transaction coordinating, marketing, we do newsletters, social media for you, and then sign running and lockbox running. So if you have any questions or want to come chat with me, I am upstairs in the leadership office.
And then Katia, as part of the team, also has some promos going on. So those are listed here. There's a listing package, an open house package, mini media, and branding bundle. So if you're needing leverage, oh, that might be a subject we get onto one of these days, like maybe today. This could help you stay in touch with your clients and let Onward do the things that give you more time with your clients. So that's a great thing to look at. Okay, one other thing on awards that came up. KW cleaned up the 2024 Franchise Business Review Awards. We were named as the most innovative franchises, most profitable franchise. Oh, we got the Satisfaction Award there, Satisfaction Award on profitable franchises, Franchise for Women Satisfaction Award, Franchise for Culture, and just top franchises in general. So you are not just part of a Figure It Out As We Go group, you're part of an incredible company that is earning recognition and awards. I'm on water instead of Coke, and my brain is not working right. That one-
Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
okay.
that one.
Beverage.
All right, meeting's ready to go. But gang, you're part of something special here, and that's why we try and bring everything we can down to the local level to help you implement it in all your businesses. Check out these new pictures.
Just like ourselves.
Yeah. So do we have anything this week?
Not really, no. Everybody's done a great job. Just keep it up. We've slowed down on mutual releases, which is a real positive thing. And the questions are the same, always the same. If anybody wants to help me answer them, I'll forward them to you.
You don't want them, trust me, you don't want those. Also, headshots, we do that every 2 months. So if you need a new headshot, watch for that come up on the calendar. I guess it'll be December, unless December's really full. But it's a great way to get your stuff updated, and it's for free. Market Center it's not for free. Market Center pays for you to have it for free. Okay, part of the many things we do to help you run your business. Okay, numbers this week. Listings, this is what's weird. Listings and contracts went up everywhere except GSBOR. Here we went down a little bit. I don't think it was much. But the crazy thing, last week, East Counties, and we got a lot of East County people who are on Zoom usually watching this. But check this compared to last year. This week they went from 46 to 60. The same week last year, they were 36. So the eastern counties are having a lot of listings happen. Also, number of homes went under contract in 1 day or less. And how many of you saw a lot more showings this weekend? Anybody? I know our team's phones blew up. some new listings and some old ones. We had one that's been sitting for 160 days, got 2 offers this weekend.
How many in this room went under contract this weekend? Anybody? Yeah, give it up. That's big.
We want to see more of those hands next week.
Yeah.
Also, available homes, 2130. So it went up again from last week. We're still running ahead of everything. If you compare it to last year, there were 1,400 homes to choose from. If you go all the way back to 2019, it was 2253. So we're still below that, but there are so many more homes in the last 2 years. So just as you're having those conversations with people, they think it's still, they don't know what it is. You're the expert. Make sure you got the info. But when you do talk to them, do not call them unless you have legal permission to do so you do not get sued. Also, lots of fun stuff going on. Let's go to Tech Time with Nicole up in the interworld.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. So this is so exciting. Inman actually gave us an award for best use of AI by a brokerage. And that is because of Quick. If you haven't used Quick or KWIQ, highly recommend. If you want to go to the next slide. So this is a website. It says it's go.kw.com /quick. I'm going to put it in the chat, but you can actually share this out with other people that are not with KW that potentially want to learn more about it. It's also a way for you, if you click the try quick button right there, then it actually brings you to your command login. Go ahead and go to the next slide. And this is Quick. So it's basically like ChatGPT inside of Command. If you ask it questions, then it gives you basically information that comes from all of our books that we do talk about all the time, MREA, Shift, The One Thing, all of those items, as well as things that are within Command. Super, super cool, super exciting. If you want to go to the next slide, this is my last slide.
Okay.
So Command Opportunities Update. This happened a few weeks ago, but this is pretty cool. They now have smart due dates in tasks. So you can actually add these to your opportunities and have smart due dates for them. Always remember that if you have questions or need help with something within Command, answers.kw.com. I'm putting it in the chat. It's your best friend. It's my best friend. Just go ahead and use it if you are looking at a new feature or something. And don't forget to look at new features on your dashboard of Command. That's it.
Cool. I am going back a slide on you, Nicole. So anywhere on Command, whether on your phone or on computer that you see this, it looks kind of like the Cox Hospital logo. Ask it any question. Like this is a sample where it says, how do you do a successful open house? It will pull all the info. If you're needing to figure out how to do something simple, like somebody called me the other night, they didn't call me at 11 o'clock, but 11 o'clock at night, they were trying to put a new contact in and they couldn't figure out how. If they would have gone to this and put, how do I put a contact into Command? It will give you all the details right there. So use this. It's incredible how it will help you. In other words, it's going to put us where you don't need us every moment of the day.
Has anybody used it yet? Quick. Okay, so next team meeting, someone use it so we can hear from one of you of how great it was, okay?
I have actually done it twice, once for open houses, because somebody said, how do you do good open house? I did this, cut and paste it and emailed it to them. Okay.
Wow, he's an expert.
It's also really great for a bio. Like, do you need to update your bio, or you don't feel like talking about yourself, or you don't know how to put that into a paragraph that goes on your website or in your app or anything? Use it to create a bio. Just put a couple sentences about yourself. It's going to make it sound amazing, and just go ahead and copy and paste it anywhere you need it.
Yeah, so you've got this resource all day long, every day. It is incredible. And if you ever have any questions on it, Nicole can help you even get to the next level with it. Okay, Ignite. Miss Ignite person, you want to say anything about this?
Me or Paulina?
Oh, well.
Okay, so Paulina is Ignite today. We are on our second week in, and it is fantastic. We've got amazing teachers teaching. Honestly, today's Paulina on open houses, even if you're not signed up for Ignite, it starts at noon today. It'll be super beneficial for you to come and just hear and be in the room. So even if you're not signed up, just come every day, noon to 3. Sometimes they cut out early, so you just never know.
And somebody asked if they're recorded. I couldn't remember.
They are recorded, but y'all are naughty and you keep saying stuff that gets it cut off of YouTube. So
YouTube keeps remembering.
yeah, I'm in trouble now. Thank you for that. So show up, you'll get more out of it that way.
Show up and leave your potty mouth at the door.
Yes, please.
Okay, and next week, Halloween chili cook-off and costume contest. This is during lunch. And as a costume contest, you all are going for second place because leadership's going to win first. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. We've got our costumes on order, and good luck trying to beat us. But Nicole, anything else you want to add on the chili cook-off?
I just put a link in for the form, so please sign up if you want to bring your chili. We have amazing prizes this year for the costume contest winner and our chili cook-off winner. We're going different with it, but really exciting. So like, come be involved, bring your chili, even if you buy it from somewhere, that's fine. But you know, it's whatever you want to do. But yeah, come and just hang out lunchtime. Then that way you can go trick-or-treating and stuff with your kids at night and just join us and have fun.
Very cool. All right, here's the rest of the October calendar. Can you all believe October's almost done? Welcome to the holiday seasons. Thanksgiving's gonna be here before you know it. So as you can see, most of the rest of the month is bold. I did send an email out to the road route people. We've had to bounce the road routes around a couple times because of bold and the NAR convention and this and Ignite and all the different things. So I will get out your way soon, I promise. But then the Halloween cook-off and wealth building this next Friday morning, and then we're into November. Cannot believe that. Yeah. Those of you that are calendar people, look on forward. November 17th, 18th, and 19th is the Greater Heartland Summit. This is like mega camp at a regional level. It is valuable for everybody, but is the most valuable for people that have done about 8 to 10 transactions in the last year, because they get more out of it. So if you know somebody that's non-KW and is about 8 transactions or more, we would love to take them to it. And as a thank you, we'll get your ticket also. So if you know somebody, and we're gonna start talking about this big, probably in the first November team meeting, but this is such a great resource right here in town or in Branson. It's gonna be the Chateau. And Jordan Freed is the final speaker on it. He's worth the admission right there alone. So put that on your calendar. And this is something cool for November.
This is exciting. So Lala Baker, Paulina, and we got together. Is anybody in this room new to Keller Williams since 2024, or you rejoined in 2024? Anyone in the room?
Raise them up high.
Raise them up high. Okay, we are so excited. We are doing a fresh face meet and greet. So we are going to have a happy hour basically here at the Keller Williams Training Center down here. And we'll have giveaways, free food, free drinks, all of the ALC will be there, your investors, your brokers. Come get to know just the culture. And then we have some incredible sponsors, so stay tuned for that. But we are really, really excited to start doing this just to get to know each other and this amazing culture that truly is faith, family, business.
It is, real estate's a lonely world and you need a community around you. And this is the best way to get connected and know some people really quickly. All right, those of you checking your calendars for 2025, family reunion, February 17th through 21st. This is the updated sign-in sheet. So if you need to register for it, and you know, if you're a MAPS coach, your ticket is free. So if you're not doing MAPS coaching, you ought to think about it. So that's the sign up. This one is to get updates on it. As they keep adding guest speakers, they added, who was it?
The L'Oreal CEO.
Yeah, the CEO of,
L'Oreal.
that's makeup, right?
Yes.
But they usually try and get 3 or 4 huge nationwide speakers, not necessarily from the real estate world, but from the business world in general. And those of you that really like to plan ahead of time, Mega Agent Camp is August 11th through 14th. This year it is in San Antonio. They're tearing up and redoing the Austin Convention Center. So we're going to the San Antonio. There's a really famous landmark there. I can't remember what it's called. What is that? Yeah, the Alamo. The Alamo. See, remember the Alamo? All right, never mind.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay, so on our team meetings, we're in a shift cycle. How many of you have the shift book? If not, we've got them upstairs. You can go buy one. And what I'm starting to do is, as the speakers are speaking each week, I'm doing my notes right into my book. That way I've got it all together. But each week, one of our leadership people, like from ALC or investors or OPs, OP is operating principal, that'd be Dan Holt. They're leading a different shift tactic because this is going to help you get ready for 2025. So today, who do we have?
Well, today we're honored to have Dan Holt and Paulina with us today. And one thing, when I was getting ready for this meeting, I thought, how impactful, this isn't just another meeting to have another meeting. When you open this book and you immediately are challenged when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Take a minute and think about that. As Dan comes up to get ready to speak to you, are you ready to change yourself and move your business forward, make more money than you ever made before? Then plug into these shift tactics and hear from really talented people in the industry. And let's see what we have for today. So Dan, you ready? Take us home.
All right, welcome Dan Holt. Table or out the way?
I would like you to move it upstairs, please.
Okay,
It's fine. Okay,
if you're not on leadership and you're not Paulina, who's also teaching today, and you have your shift book, show it to me. Standing. That was nobody, by the way. Who here has been in real estate less than 12 years?
12 years.
Okay, so that's essentially everybody. Here's my point. I challenge to tell you our biggest hurdle or obstacle with talking about the shift to this group or any group that's been in real estate less than that amount of time is they have no clue what we're talking about. Right? And I'm gonna give you an analogy to paraphrase it because I'm trying to get this to sink home with everybody because I lived it the hard way. Adam lived it the hard way. Jim saw challenging times, right? And you saw really good agents have really challenging times, didn't you?
No longer with us.
And they're no longer in the industry. I want to give you an analogy. Has anybody seen the videos on Facebook of the people that are colorblind and they get the glasses? So here's what I want you to think about, because this is my challenge today. Picture yourself or picture me describing to somebody what the color red is that can't see color. How would you describe that?
Vibrant.
Vibrant, robust. I don't know what words you would use, but what words would you use to describe something that the person can't see? That's what I'm trying to talk about in shift. So in the videos, you know, you've seen the people that are colorblind, they've literally never seen color and they get the glasses and they see it. And what happens immediately? They see it. Once they see it, you can now describe it. Once they feel it, I guess you can't feel a color, but they can understand it. It becomes relatable at that point in time. So sometimes when we talk about shift, when we talk, like, that's honestly, like I talk about shift and I talk about the book and I see people's eyes glaze over because they don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm asking you to do for just a hot minute is pretend like you have those glasses and pretend like you lived in a shift. Because I'll tell you some symptoms of a shift. Lee already giggled, he lived it too. I'll tell you symptoms of a shift. It's being $6.5 million in debt with $200 in your bank account. It's Adam Gaddy and I sharing an office because he probably could have, but I couldn't afford an office by myself. It's us sharing hotel rooms because we couldn't afford them by ourselves. It's not knowing where your next dollar is coming from. And sometimes I can't get people to put on the glasses till they're at that point. And what I'm saying is please listen to me and write something down so that you never experience that. Because I don't want you to experience it so you feel that. I actually want you to listen so you don't. Fair? Okay, let's get started. Page 37 of the shift. By the way, if you don't have a shift book, please get it. The shift book works in any market. A shift is not fear mongering, by the way. It's just an acknowledgement that markets trend. They go up, they go down. A shift is merely a transition between two different markets. Have we been in one extreme?
Yes.
What's the okay, let's not talk about real estate because we take that personal and we pretend it's not going to affect us. If we were talking about the stock market, did the stock market also take a run? Yeah. What's the natural tendency cyclically over time if you look at the historical data that the market's going to do after a long bull run? It's going to transition to a different market. That's called a shift. Now, if the market was over here, it was low and it was underbought and the values became a bargain, what would then happen over time? It would shift, right? So my point in that is saying a shift is not negative. A shift doesn't mean down. A shift is merely a transition between two markets. So that was just my reiteration on shift. Let me jump into shift tactic number 3, which is on page 37 of your red book. Everybody flip there. That was a joke. Okay. Shift tactic number 3 is, just so I can pronounce this right and not mess everybody up, it is do more with less. And then it says leverage. You see that. What is leverage? Help. So it could be people. What else could it be? Systems. What else could it be? Tools, models, etc. All the cliche words that we use to basically say, I'm going to get more by doing less, right? Do systems. Does AI help us become more effective and more efficient?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's right. Do CRMs help us become more efficient, more effective? If without those tools, would you be as effective? Right. So therefore, would you be doing more with less? No, you'd probably be doing less with more. I don't know. The inverse of that, I guess, is true. I want to turn to page 40 and I want to read a little paragraph, if that's okay, if you guys don't care to follow along. It's kind of midway through the chapter. It said, let's first look at those who you directly employ. I want you to replace the word employ with leverage, because not everybody here employs somebody. So whether you're on a team, whether you own a team, or whether you're an individual agent, this applies. So I'm gonna replace the word, if you're following along, which turns out that's nobody, except Paulina. So I'm gonna say, let's first look at the systems or people that you employ. Good times can obscure and even camouflage who or what isn't really working or even actually working at all. Do any of us have systems that aren't really working? Wes, do you have a question?
I have a system.
Oh, yeah, you're following along. Great, thanks, Wes. Yeah, thanks. Oh, so when I ask a question like this and you raise your hand, okay, got it, thanks. It was just so adamant. I'm like, yes, Wes. Up markets can hide lesser talent or systems or mediocre systems. Let's see, good times can obscure and even camouflage who isn't really working or what isn't actually even working at all. Up markets can hide lesser talent or systems because we predictably focus on our sales, success in the moment, and generally don't give the market enough credit for its role in success. Can everybody acknowledge that the market helped us in the last 4 years? It was the greatest gift of the real estate gods ever gave us.
Yes.
But what happened when the market pulls back? When the tide goes out, it exposes who's skinny dipping. All right, face it, when it comes to people or system, up markets conceal and tough markets reveal. Is anything being revealed in your life right now?
A whole lot.
Yeah, right? So without going through the whole book and reading it, and reading it paragraph by paragraph, that's just what I want to say. So I'll give you an example. In the last year, Monica, I think we've cut like $20,000 per month in fixed expenses. Like, it's real. We were preparing for it. The minute it showed up, we saw it. Like, once again, it's not fear mongering, it's being realistic. See, what you can't do is put your head in the sand like an ostrich and pretend it's not coming. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't come, are we better for it?
Yes.
Right. One of the biggest traps, and I'll say, is honestly with individual agents. Because we operate under a feeling and we don't closely examine the business models and systems and the finances that we're spending in our business to get the business we think we're doing. And we think what we're spending and doing is causing our results. And it might actually just be the market. And let's be honest, and I've said this to myself, I might actually not be that good. Monica? Are you gonna agree to that?
No.
Oh, wait.
When we look at how we approach those cuts, I just want to let you guys know, like, the first time you look at your expenses and look to make those cuts or adjustments, look to make it between 5 to 10%. And then every month after that, on the 15th of the month, your goal would be to go between 1 to 3% in your cuts or adjustments. Doesn't mean you have to cut it, but do you negotiate it? Do you offset it with a vendor? So that would be how to tactically get to that point.
So on page 37, second paragraph, it goes to that. It says, cutting expenses and finding your margin doesn't necessarily mean slashing quality or delivering less. It does, however, demand getting the job done with less money available to get it. See, here's the reality, kind of come on at this point. Most people's profit margin is cooked into what they're actually spending, and they don't recognize that. They think they can simply sell more, and there's going to be a day that there's not more to sell. Or there's not as many to sell.
Back
I
that
don't
up.
remember what I said.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, back that up. I mean, I caught you about a third of the way.
Most people's profit margin is being diminished by what they're spending, and they think they can outproduce the market. And so they keep spending, and they never have the hard analytical look of what's their P&L actually say that they're spending. And therefore their profit margin is smaller because they feel good about what they're spending. Has anybody like gone to the store or like the grocery store hungry, or gone to the mall with like a gift card and you just like free willy just spend money? That's what that's what a lot of businesses actually do. And it's called financial bloat. And they think they can outproduce to cover up what they're spending because they're not willing to have either the hard conversations about expectations or look at the P&L or look at what they're spending. And your profit margin typically is what you're spending. Now, I've said this before. I am not, to Monica's point, sitting here saying making profit is an expense slashing exercise. It's an expense management exercise. You cannot slash your way to profitability. There are some things that are fixed business expenses that we have to spend, right? There are some that we spend though because we justify. So the question is, does the money that we're spending have a return on investment? And so if an exercise that's easy to help this is you can take your P&L or credit card or your bank statement and get 2 highlighters out or get 3 highlighters out, whatever you're doing. And I want you to, in green, highlight, what am I spending that I'm getting a return on? It's a very simple economic strategy. What am I spending that I'm getting a return on? And then I want you to look at what's a fixed expense that's gonna exist just because I'm in the industry. An MLS registration would be an example of that. You can't be a realtor in our board and not have that expense, right? I could argue you could get a return on that, et cetera, and it's not gonna get a return just because you're spending it. Mike, don't correct me on that. You get my philosophy, right? Then next, you take a pink and I want you to write and be honest with yourself. Like I said, if you don't have a P&L, just go to your bank statement or go to your credit card statement. In pink, write, what am I spending because of my ego? Your ego gets you no return. Those are business decisions. So I want to kind of wrap this up by an exercise. Just write these notes down. You don't have to do it now. But this is a question I want you to ask yourself. What am I spending that if I stop spending, nobody would miss? What's an example? Yes.
I just have a quick thought.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking this could all apply to how you spend your time as well.
I'm going there.
Do it.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a 3-pronged question, right? It actually is a 3-pronged question. Question number 1 is, what am I spending money on that if I stop spending that money, nobody would miss? What's an example in your business? I'm actually looking for real life examples. Mike.
I'm a member of the Agent of Excellence Disney.
Agent
of Excellence Disney Network. It's gotten me nothing this year, and so.
But you feel good about it.
I feel good.
Right, but you're an agent of experience.
Agent of Excellence.
Agent of Excellence through Disney.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great, perfect example. For anybody else?
Like one of those automated thank you card systems
Okay,
that are like AM cards like $40 a month, but if you stop spending it and you go back to handwriting.
which is actually more impactful?
Handwriting.
Well, I guess this is the question. I can't answer that. Only you can answer that. Because if you're sending out 2,000 a month, I would, right, but this is how I want you think, this is how I want you thinking.
But like, for example, so not that, but the people who are in Ignite, if Ignite, you write 10 handwritten thank you cards a day, right? Is it a day?
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, yes, I think you can churn out 10 a day or 50 a week. And then to your point, if you're sending out 2,000 a month, an automated system might be worth it.
That's right.
So, but
It's just a question you have to answer, and that's my only point. There's no judgment what you're, because only you can make that business decision for you, right? What's another example? Shanna.
A guy who spent a lot of money on a TV spot.
Just spent a load of money on it. That was a huge ego spend, about $100,000. Thank you, Shanna. So, yeah. So I did, however, sell one house off that I tracked.
I don't know.
So,
I think you're really pulling.
Net negative $83,000 if you want to know the truth. Mike, another one.
Yes, I once had a billboard.
Once had a billboard.
Yes.
Did you feel good about it?
On the South Campbell ice storm, when everyone was stuck there looking at my face, that's the only time anybody saw it.
Perfect. Did it cost you money?
Yes.
Did you get a return on it?
No. That was before I was a KW.
Did anybody miss your face not being there?
Becky.
All right, to your point, the next prong to this question of the 3-part question is, what am I doing that if I stop doing, nobody would miss?
wait, say that again?
What am I doing that if I stop doing, nobody would miss? What's an example? This one's a little more serious, isn't it? So everybody's doing all the right, oh, yes, thank you.
Well, forever, I did all my own transactions, I did everything with contracts and then now this amazing.
Because you thought you were the only one that could do it right.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I was,
leverage in a system.
so OCD about everything and I thought, who could do this as well as me? And then the connection, I felt like I might lose connection, but I'm not. I'm having so much more time.
All they cared about was the relationship.
Yeah, and then having somebody that knows how to do it way more than I do
Yeah.
and has saved me so much.
Actually may have given a higher level of customer service too.
100%, yeah.
What else? What am I doing that if I stop doing, nobody would miss? What if you stop booking closings or showings or listing appointments between 9 and 11 and focus on lead generating? Would your clients miss that? Would they know any different?
No.
Third part to the question. What am I not doing that if I do more of, it would enhance my business? Or inversely, go to the other question. Where am I not spending money that if I spent money would enhance my business? See, these are just business questions and there's no judgment around them. Only you can determine for you where that applies.
What was your first question? What am I
The
not
very
doing?
first question?
Yeah, no, not all the way back, but just like 3 seconds ago.
What am I spending money on that if I stop spending money on, nobody would miss? Number 2 is what am I doing that if I stop doing, nobody would miss? The third is what am I not doing that if I did more of would enhance my business? And thirdly is this is the fourthly, I'm sorry, is the hardest one, is where am I not spending money that if I did would enhance my business? That's the last one. I really don't care if you write that fourth one down or not, because I'm not focused on spending money, yet there is business decisions where you spend money that you will get a return on investment. An example, if I have $1,000 that I'm spending every month and I go and I truly analyze this, and I find that 500 is on a billboard and getting me nothing, and 500 is in, let's just say, events with my sphere, and I'm getting a deal from that every week. I'm not saying stop spending the 1,000. I'm saying you may analyze this 500 and reallocate this 500 over here. Does that make sense? So I'm not just saying, that's where I go back to saying managing your money. I'm not saying slash your expenses. I'm saying manage your money. Here's a great exercise to do. And by the way, does this apply personal and professionally?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just a question on your last questions there. Is that kind of more in line with getting set up with like a coach or, you know, someone more with experience? Because like you said, it's the unknown. I don't know where I can put my money to make more money. Is it advocating then, talk with, you know, the leadership, other?
Absolutely.
things
Yeah,
as
so a coach can help with that. There are masterminds with agents that are doing it already, because Adam and I get to go, and Wes get to go to top mastermind groups all the time and hear these people invest. They've saved me from spending money on certain things before. So I think it's circling yourself with the people who are doing it at a level higher than you. And the beautiful thing is, this isn't just a real estate question. Is this a conversation can be had with any business? Yeah, it's the same thing. Every business should be looking at this. You all run businesses. Like I said, whether you're an individual agent on a team, a vendor, or I don't know what the last option was, but that's fine. You get my point. This applies to everybody. First and foremost, though, go back and do this to your personal expenses. What am I spending that if I spend, I would never miss? Right? These are the tactics that you have to employ and shift. Now, I'm gonna wrap up by saying this. How long have I been going?
3 more minutes.
3 more?
Yeah, you're
good. This is money. I'm nailing this. On the time factor. Okay. There's a really easy guide on page, I think it's 38 at the very bottom of Shift. Remember the question that I asked you and I said, what am I not doing that if I did more of would enhance my business? Remember that question? If you don't know where to start, go to the bottom of page 38. These are the 6 core competencies for any business. And they apply to us. And you'll find that none of them cost money. Number 1, lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. What business does that not apply to? Mike, does that apply to mortuaries?
Yes.
Does that apply to doctors?
It's hard to lead generate there.
Well, but the family, you're lead generating to somebody.
Well, that's
Number 2, present to buyers and sellers. We can say customers to apply to every business. Present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. Number 3, show buyers and market sellers. 4, write and negotiate contracts. 5, coordinate the sale and closing. 6, manage the money. 6 is the most important and it's the one we do the least. Manage the money. What's the point in doing it all if we spend it all? You guys have heard the old adage, it's not what you make, it's what you spend. It's what you spend. Manage the money. If it's making you an ROI, like I said, I'm not sitting here with judgment saying stop spending money. If you're getting a return, what I'm asking you to do though is vet, am I actually getting a return or am I spending it because of my ego? The easiest thing I can tell you to do this, and I would challenge you to do it both personally and professionally. Meaning if you have a business account and a personal account, if you don't have a business account, I would challenge you to. Go cancel your credit cards. Now, I'm not saying don't have a credit card. This is not a credit card conversation. What I'm saying is go cancel your credit card. Specifically, I would do it first. I don't care which one you do it first. I would do it first for my business because I know what I spend personally. Why do I say that?
So you can see where you're spending your money.
So you can see where you're spending your money. Why? How does that show up?
Because if the bill automatic reoccurring. that you
If the bill's automatically recurring, what are you gonna get within 30 days? A notice from the vendor you're subscribing to that says, hey, your subscription has not been paid and we're gonna turn off your services. Guess what you get to do then? Cancel or determine, do I get to keep it in my business? But it's a quick test. I know people, and we know people in Gary's group that do this with their businesses every 6 months. Monica cringes every time I change credit cards because we have to reset everything and it frustrates her. Yet it keeps the bloat from creeping in. See, most money is not spent in big ticket items. Most of the times we nickel and dime ourselves to death. That's right. Did you know? I'll give you an example. Amazon, this was like 4 years ago. Amazon raised its like Prime subscription or whatever from like $13 a month to $17 a month. Does everybody remember this kind of happened? Because everybody threw a fit. Do you know what their cancellation rate was? It was less than 1%. Do you know how much they raised in funds per month by one flip of a switch?
Millions.
300 million a month. They raised 300 million in capital in one flip of a switch and no one cared. My point is not do that to your customers. And if you can, let me know because I'm all on board. My point is don't fall susceptible to that. We incrementally are raising our expenses because we're not analyzing them. And what we're doing is we're robbing from our profit margin. And by robbing from our profit margin, we just go out and we do more and we do more and we do more. And we work 70 hours a week and 80 hours a week trying to stay ahead of this. And what we don't understand is our lag is what we're spending. And we're trying to fill that gap in the profit margin. And what do we end up doing? We keep spending more and more and more. So go back and analyze what you're spending, what's giving you a return, who's giving you a return, what relationships are giving you a return, double down on that and cancel all the rest of it. Cool? You're up.
Okay, so before we go into Paulina, we need 2 ahas from that. So agents helping agents, can we get somebody who has a takeaway from Dan's? Anybody with the aha on that one?
So good.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I looked at my P and L, I'm brand new to actually going through my P and L and all the expenses I have on there. It's like, oh my gosh. Take the pink marker, green marker and
For some action, you're gonna, so that leads right into you, but yes.
So I always take away a lot from these meetings and I text my team with like nuggets of things and stuff. I text more during that from Dan than I have any other meeting I've been to, but strong markets conceal and tough markets reveal was huge. It's very easy to be very good whenever it was like low hanging fruit, but now everyone's kind of showing their true colors. So that was great. Thank you, Dan.
Well, I stole it right out of the shift book. Props.
2 quick things before I go to Paulina. Nicole put a post that we have the shift books up top for $16.25. It can just be put on your account if you want it. But this and the MREA, you should be going through these every year. Every year they get through them. The other thing I wanted to say was Dan mentioned about the mortuary. My dad was a funeral director. And I learned so much about business from him because you can't advertise a funeral home. You can't do a 2-for-1 sale. You can't do this or that. You have to be in touch with your people. My dad was in the little town, Wright City in Warrenton, Missouri. He was in the Lions Club. They knew he was at every home basketball game. He actually bought an old scoreboard and put it in front. We also owned a furniture store because the old woodworkers did both sides. He would put the score from the last night game, because this was before internet, on that scoreboard. People would drive by his store just to see what the score of the game was. You got to do something where the minute they need you, you're the first person they think of. And so I always challenge people, think like a funeral director. What can you do to stay in touch with people? Because, you know, he did have a great layaway program, I will say that, but.
So people are just dying to get into it.
It's getting better from
Mic
here.
drop. Okay. All right, next we have Paulina.
That's
She's gonna
right.
talk about doing the work. So can you guys help me welcome Paulina?
Just so you guys know, I'm not as exciting as Dan, so. But now that we know what the shift is, let's get into the nitty gritty of it. And I'll tell you, so I started in 2019 and I read this book because I read all the books that were given to me. This made no sense to me. And so now that I'm rereading it now, it's making a lot of sense. So I do encourage every one of you to read this book because it does make a lot of sense. So a little bit about me, and this is kind of going off of Blake. So if you guys were not here for Blake's presentation, this is not gonna make sense. But I started in 2019. I'm a solo agent with an admin. I'm also on the ALC. This is supposed to say 15 million and then 67 units in 2023. Wife married for 2 weeks, Chiefs fan, not a cigar lover, and not an avid gamer. Once again, if you saw Blake's presentation, this would be funny. So like I said, let's get into the nitty gritty because now that we know we're in a shift, we have to buckle down and do the number one most important thing, and that's lead generation. So fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on the market. Who can feel it? Who can feel it? I know I can. And it's like, it's not something that I'm used to because in 2019, whenever I first started, it was like this. And Christina, you said it. I mean, it was the low hanging fruit and not necessarily that the business was coming to me, but it wasn't as hard as it is now. It wasn't, it was definitely a lot easier to get business. And what's the cause of that? It's motivation. No matter what the economic status is, what the interest rates are, there are still people buying and selling houses. Now, when I started, the interest rates were great. So that was a great conversation we were having with buyers that also motivated sellers because the inventory was low. But let me tell you guys, people are still selling and buying houses. It's just about figuring out that motivation. It's for different reasons now. It's not because, oh, the interest rates are low, so I want to upgrade to this nicer neighborhood, have a bigger house, bigger yard. People are upsizing, downsizing, people are moving for jobs, and it's our job as the expert to figure out what their true motivation is. Like I said, fewer buyers can afford to, have the desire to, or are prepared, and same with sellers. Fewer buyers and sellers are ready, willing, and able right now in this market to buy or sell. And it's our job to find that true motivation and just keep asking questions and uncover that true motivation. So what do we have to do? Move past your myths. I know none of us got into this business thinking, I'm gonna come into the office and make phone calls for 5-6 hours. Did anybody think that whenever you got into real estate? I got into real estate, it's gonna sound stupid because I was like, I would love to go look at houses and help people with their biggest transaction of their life. I would love to be that go-to person for people. None of us got into this business to sit on the phone for 2 hours and just dial and get a no after no after no. But let me tell you guys something, it's part of it. Because without making those phone calls and without getting leads, we're not sitting at the closing table. We're not getting paid. So what are we doing? So it all really starts with lead generation. And a lot of us may think that we're too busy. We don't have time to get the leads. We don't know what to do or what to say. And then like Dan talked about, it takes money to make money. And it's not true. Whenever I started, I mean, I had all the time in the world and still to this day, I don't pay for any leads. I sat on the phone call, I did open houses, I door knocked, I messaged my sphere of influence. There are ways out there to find leads and business without having to spend money.
Say it again.
Amen. So really, the number one job as a real estate agent is to get leads, make those phone calls, and generate business. So in the shift book, like I said, this is not as exciting as Dan's presentation. There are 3 action steps. Number 1, stop doing what doesn't work, which we kind of talked about a little bit. Figure out what does work. And 3, ramp it up. So let's go into step 1, stop doing what doesn't work. This exercise is actually in your shift book on page 55. Very easy exercise. So You're gonna write down all of your lead sources. So whether you're doing open houses, reaching out to your sphere of influence, messaging people on Facebook, calling expired listings, door knocking, cold calling, whatever it is. And then go through your last year and see how many closings you've had from that source. Then you're gonna prioritize them. So whatever gave you the most leads and go down. And then the last step is take out the last 5, because obviously those are the activities that are not producing any closings and any leads. So like I said, this is on page 55 in the shift book, very easy exercise. That way, especially now in a shifting market, when we really have to buckle down and increase our lead gen, we're gonna be focusing on the activities that actually bring us business. Now, there is an exception to this, so don't completely ignore the bottom 5, because those are gonna be the activities that may produce future business. So don't completely take them out of your business, but definitely focus on the ones that are actually bringing you closings. So now we're gonna figure out what does work. There are 2 M's in lead generation, and that's message and method. So under message, obviously we have to match the market that we're in and then make an offer. So let's go into match your market. Obviously the market is changing. We're not gonna be talking about how low the interest rates are. We have to figure out the message we're trying to get across and figure out what audience we're trying to reach. So 2 really, really good questions that you want to answer when you're figuring this out is, why would they want to contact me in this market? And what would they get out of it? Because let me tell you, there's so many real estate agents out there and people are always getting in and out of business. The message that I get that kind of frustrates me a little bit is, oh my gosh, it looks like you're having so much fun. Real estate seems like easy money. I don't want to do it. It's not like that. But because there are so many other agents out there, we have to stand out and we have to always come from a place of contribution, because anybody can help, anybody can show you a house, anybody can sell a house for you. What are we doing for our clients that's going to make us stand out from somebody else? So these are 2 really good questions that you can ask yourself. People will contact you if there's some direct benefit to them. Like I said, they don't really care about you. They care about what you can do for them. And I hate to say it, but that's just the truth. So always come from a place of contribution and provide value to your clients. Making an offer to get a response. There are 2 different types of messages. So a direct offer, which is your now business, and then indirect offer, which is going to be your future business. So for example, your now business is buy a house with me right now, or sell a house with me right now. This is your now business. Now, future business, which is just as important, because I can sell a house tomorrow, but I'm still going to need business and money 6 months from now. So that is going to be your future business. So indirect offers, messages that you can offer to your clients, for example, comparative market analysis, just to let them know what their house is worth in today's market. Custom property searches, or any tools you guys have, 5 mistakes you can make when buying a house, or how to get a house ready to list it. Maybe provide landscaping companies, get them in touch with lenders, whatever it is. These are indirect offers that will ensure that you guys still have future business. So do both, because like I said, we need business now, but we're always going to need business in the future. And not everybody is going to respond. Obviously, we're going to want this, right? Because we want that instant gratification. We want that instant check in our bank account. But not everybody is going to respond to direct offers, because they may not be ready to buy a house right now. They may not be ready to buy a house tomorrow, but they're going to buy a house eventually. They're going to sell a house eventually. So we want to ensure that we're casting a wider net and offering both of these messages. So now your message needs a method. I'm sure you guys have heard of these 2 different things, marketing and prospecting, right? So prospecting is like seeking. So these are things that you're doing to contact the audience. So this is going to be for sale by owners, expireds, calling people, networking events, door knocking, These are gonna be you seeking opportunities, you going out there and talking to people. Now, marketing is more like attracting, so this is just as important. Examples would be billboards, newspapers, magnets, postcards, websites, stuff like that. So most successful agents are gonna do both. I put arrows to here because we're in a shifting market. And this is what's gonna get you immediate responses. Even if you call somebody and they may not be ready right now, obviously they're gonna be business in the future. So like I said, both of these are important, but especially now in a shifting market, prospecting, seeking clients is something that we have to really focus on. Step number 3, ramp it up. So, like I said, lead gen, it's hard. Nobody wants to come in here, make phone calls, but until we get that done, everything else is a distraction. When I had a MAPS coach, she told me to treat it as a bunker. And time blocking, who in here does time blocking? What do you think time blocking is? Can you explain it?
It allows me to focus on the things that need to get done, and once I get those things accomplished, I've earned the right to do the other things that really don't matter the rest of the day.
Exactly. So, Mark, you're in here every day. I see you in here every day, in the morning, at night when I leave. When do you do your lead gen?
In the morning. It's
In
been
the
a,
morning.
yeah, in the morning. It's a struggle, but Gary Keller says, win the morning, win the day.
I love it.
And-
Win the morning, win the day. And if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And I think that's true because I time block my day. If I don't put something on my calendar, I'm more than likely gonna forget about it. So time blocking is really important, especially in this business, especially whenever we get busy with showings, with making phone calls, going to closings, going to different networking events. Time blocking is very critical. And not only time blocking for business, most successful agents are gonna time block 3 different things. First and foremost, vacations for the whole year. Everybody needs some time off. We don't want to get burnt out. So sit down and just time block vacations for the entire year, and then you can work around that. Number 2 is going to be lead gen. Each day, all day, every day. You have to do it, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, you have to lead gen. That is your number 1 most important thing as a real estate agent. Without lead gen, we don't have any closings, we don't have any money. And then number 3, an hour a week just to plan. So whether that's on a Sunday evening, maybe Monday in the morning when you get to the office early, just plan out your week, plan out your lead gen for the entire week. And then you're not gonna feel so scattered, and it's gonna be a lot easier to go throughout the week once you do that. So there is a time blocking technique called the 3-3, very self-explanatory. It's 3 things to get done in 3 hours. So preparing, what this means is, and this should only take 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. So let's just say I come into the office at 8 a.m. and I get my calls done from 9 until 11. I'm gonna get to the office at 8, prepare my phone calls, prepare my speech, dialogue, scripts, whatever it's gonna be. That way, whenever it's time to take action, I'm not being distracted on what am I gonna say? Who am I gonna call? I've got that ready and prepared. So really this preparation should only take about 30 minutes, and then you get into your bunker. Nobody's distracting you. Lock your doors, whatever you need to do, and take action. So you're spending at least 2 hours on making phone calls, door knocking, writing those notes, whatever it is, if you're at an open house, stuff like that. And then lastly, maintain. So at the end of your 2 hours of wonderful calling people, you want to take notes of your results. So track who you called, what you guys talked about, and then make sure you schedule your follow-up calls. And what I usually do is, if we talked about something specific, like, I don't know, their dog died or their fish died, whatever, I'll write it down. That way, if I follow up with them in a week, 2 weeks, a month, I'll bring that up. And that is so special to people. And the amount of people we talk to, I'm not gonna remember that. So writing it down and tracking really helps. And then we have a blank slide. Oh, go do the things. So now that you guys know different techniques and things to do to lead gen, which is the number one most important thing in real estate, we have to make sure that our environment supports our goals. So what does that mean? Talk to your loved ones, share your goals with them. And if you don't have a spouse partner, talk to your friends. Maybe you can create some kind of a small accountability circle. I know we used to do that here in this office, is have accountability partners. So, because if it's just in your head and you don't share it with somebody, it's much easier just to forget about it and not reach your goal. But whenever somebody else is holding you accountable, it's a lot easier to reach those goals and really keep pushing until you reach your goals. And then once again, lead gen is a contact sport with simple rules. The more people you talk to, the more businesses you're gonna have. And it's that simple. People oftentimes complicate it, but it's not complicated. Go talk to people. Go tell them what you do. Come from a place of contribution. Show value. That's all you need to do. And the more people you talk to, the more business you're gonna have. And then for the 50th time, your number one job is to lead gen. What are your aha? To lead gen, yes.
Do we have any other takeaways? Wes, did you get an aha from this?
I mean, I think one of the most direct is prospecting is winning the market right now.
Versus just marketing.
100%. Yeah, and that also ties into Dan, because marketing is expensive.
Okay.
So what are like some of the things you guys are doing right now to prospect?
Oh my gosh, we just got through with our business planning clinic, so that was a lot of fun. So call text is primary, number one, strategy one, priority one, call and text.
Yeah.
So, most of us have databases in our phones. So we are literally going through and calling and texting them, at least a call a quarter and at least a text a month, everybody in the database.
So whenever you do call or text, what are you saying?
It kind of depends on the person, right? So you can customize your message to the person, but largely the message is, right now we're in an amazing market. I don't want you to miss this if you've been thinking about it. If you've not, no problem, just checking in with you.
And it's that simple. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated.
And we always give people there's a piece of business, there's always the escape. Hey, if you're not interested right now, no problem. Oh, yeah, we're not really in the market. Okay, cool. What's going on in life?
Yeah.
To kind of to Wes's point, the prospecting versus marketing, prospecting doesn't typically cost any money. Takes time. Marketing costs money, less time. Yet we'll spend the money to avoid the pain because we think we'll get a benefit and we avoid the prospecting. Because we think it's gonna solve a problem. So we'll spend the money to do that on the slight chance that we get one conversion out of 100 leads that we get. Yet, if you sat down and called 100 people, how many leads would you get?
At least
it's
one,
pain
at
versus
least.
pleasure, right? And sadly, that's where the bloat comes, right? So to Wes's point and to your point, if you have the money to spend and you wanna spend it and you have an ROI, great. But don't spend the money to avoid doing what you don't wanna do, because what you don't wanna do is where your results are actually gonna come from.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody that used to be here at this office. They said every day when they woke up, they acted like they didn't have a job. So that really motivated them to make those phone calls because like you said, we have all, especially as a new agent, or if we don't have any business, we have all the time in the world, so.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. All right, you guys give it up for Paulina. She did a great job. Thanks for coming to team meeting. If you don't have this book, go ahead and go upstairs and see us in the leadership office. We have them available. And grab an accountability partner in the room and take them to lunch. Thank you guys so much.